Hey, what up, what up? Just want to make a quick video. Um, I know I haven't made a video in a while. I was supposed to been, you know, come out with this video. I was supposed to been like, talk on this. But I'm finally coming around and doing it. And so, but yeah, it's about the Errol Spence fight, the aftermath, pretty much. I'm gonna upload these other two videos I had before, so everything's authentic. And everything's authentic, and you know where my head was at during the time, or my thought process was at during the time. So I'm gonna upload those before I upload this one. But because this is like the aftermath of the fight, kind of, if you get what I'm saying. But man, I'm just gonna have to come right to it, man. I'm gonna have to come right to it. Shout out, I want to say first, shout out to this guy, I forgot his name. I think it's Comedic Falcon. I think he's on YouTube. He doesn't make too many videos like that, but he's made some videos that's been eye-catching to me, and that kind of really opened my eyes a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Not that I was not aware of these kind of things that go on in boxing and stuff like that, but it definitely opened my eye on the situation when it comes to this Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford fight. Shout out to him, and also shout out to Boxing Outlet. Boxing Outlet. He's really been putting in this work when it comes to exposing what's really going on and what really happened during that fight. And I'm gonna give my perspective on this video too, because it's not the first time I have kind of participated in opening or trying to open the eyes of the masses when it comes to the trickery or the nastiness that goes on in the game of boxing, especially when it comes in that square circle in the ring. A couple years ago, I think 2-3 years ago, we had Tyson Fury, who cheated against Wilder several times. The gloves, tampering with the gloves, and even if you can go even further, I think back in like 2015, he was caught cheating or taking PEDs and stuff like that. And so this is what goes on in the game of boxing. The commissioning of boxing commission does not take these things serious, especially if they know you have especially if they know this fighter brings a lot of money in. They do not want them to cheat, but they also are going to enable the cheating, okay? And so whatever's good for their pockets, they're gonna go with that. They're not going to push the issue. You get what I'm saying? And so Tyson Fury was caught cheating like 2-3 years ago against Wilder. He did it in several fights against Wilder. So this brings me to say, not to say, but to come to you and present the same ordeal, the same game plan, the same play that was run against Wilder was run against Errol Spence. Same exact play. I don't know how long this video is gonna get, but I'm gonna try to make it as concise and understanding and comprehension. Make it as comprehensive as I can. So what am I saying when it comes to this Terence Crawford fight with Errol Spence? Yes, I'm saying exactly that. And on the losing end of the whole ordeal, or the play was being run against Errol Spence, man. The whole play, man. Like I said, shout out to Comedic Falcon. If I can, I will put the link to his channel in the description. I'll also do as well. And shout out to Boxing Outlet. I also put his video in the description. But they've been doing a very good job, very good job of exposing the cheater, or of what we call, but Terence Crawford. Let me get this out of the way first. Always been a Bud fan, okay? So whoever finds this video or trying to say, oh, you're just mad because you lost or your guy didn't win, don't even bother watching this video, because I've always been a fan of Terence Crawford. My 5 favorite boxers in the game, especially when it comes to this time around of we talk about the game right now, has always been Terence Crawford, Errol Spence, Shakur Stevenson, Gervonta Davis, and one more person. I got 4, right? I got 4, but there's another person I'm missing. But those 4 or 5 guys have always been my favorite fighters. So there's no excuse. There's no excuse I'm trying to make because Errol Spence lost, or I chose Errol Spence to win. First and foremost, I chose Errol Spence to win within the week of the fight. So up until the week of the fight, or a couple weeks before the fight, I was torn between who I actually think was going to win, okay? So I have no leg or no agenda trying to push this idea that, or the fact that he did cheat. I don't get paid to do this shit, okay? But what I do know is that when truth is presented to me, and when I can see it with my 2 eyes, I gotta come 100 with it, okay? The same play that was ran against Deontay Wilder is the same play that Terence Crawford ran with. And actually, to be honest, I think it was even worse, because I think it's a combination of many things. I think his glove was tampered with. I think he's messing with a tampered glove, or manipulated glove, however you want to call it. I think precisely would be manipulation. And I think he was on some juice. I mean, if you're working with Victor Conte, that's a red flag. That's a big red flag to me. Big red flag. And the third thing is, so it's 3 things I think that happened in the fight. I also think that Errol Spence, I think he was drugged. The same glossy, however you want to say, glassy or glossy look that Deontay Wilder had during that fight, having no balance. When he's throwing the shots, he's falling all over the place. Looked like he just was drunk in the ring. It's the same way Errol Spence looked. So I think it's a combination of 3 things that happened in that fight. I think Terence Crawford was on something, was on some juice. Because don't get me wrong, Terence Crawford is an excellent fighter. He's very, very skilled. He's a gifted fighter. So it's not like he doesn't have the talent. He's talented. But for this fight, and I'm going to speak on some other fights too, I think he was juiced. Because I've never seen Terence Crawford that fast. His reflexes on another level. And the shots he took from Errol Spence, and he just shook it off and kept going, that was suspect to me. So I've never seen him that fast. I've never seen his reflexes on that level. I've never seen him that strong. He's always been strong, but I've never seen him that strong for him just to move Errol Spence like that. It's just, look at it in hindsight, looking back at it, it just doesn't make sense to me. He should have never been that much ahead of Errol Spence. Yeah, it's one thing beating Errol Spence, and that's okay. Anybody can lose in a fight. It's the boxing game, right? But to be that ahead of Errol Spence, I don't believe so. I'll never believe it. I'll never believe he was that much ahead of Errol Spence. Never. And so it prompted me, you know, to look back at some other fights. Let's go back to what's that fight? Him against what's that? Oh yeah, Jose Benavidez. I think that's the second or third fight in welterweight, right? Check this out, because we're going to break this down. It took him 12 rounds to get rid of Jose Benavidez. I didn't give Jose Benavidez much rounds in that fight. I don't know how much I gave him, but I didn't give him that much. So it took him 12 rounds to get rid of him. To not only get rid of him, to knock him down. Now, you go to the strongest welterweight. He knocked him down in the second round, and you tell me this is something. It took him 2 rounds to knock Errol Spence down. Okay, so that's one. I don't believe at this point of his career, or any boxer should be getting that much stronger, if you get what I'm saying. I'm not saying you can't get stronger, you can't work on punching power. All that is cool. But the difference, like that, I don't see it. I don't see it to be that possible. Okay? Errol Spence is a durable welterweight. Now, could him being in a car crash and all that kind of stuff have been a chink in his armor a little bit? That could be a factor, but I don't think it'll be that much. I just don't see it like that. You know, I just can't. It's hard to see it like that. So Jose Benavidez, he takes 12 rounds. Okay. What's the next fighter? This is where okay, so Jeff Horn. I don't know how much rounds it took Jeff. What was that? 8 or 9 rounds? 8 or 9 rounds, whatever. I'm out in front of BoxRec right now. It took him 8 or 9 rounds. Okay, but guess what? He didn't mark Jeff Horn like that. He didn't mark up Jeff Horn like that at all. He may have stopped him, but he didn't do all the kind of damage he did to Errol Spence face to Jeff Horn. Come on, man. It's just something is not adding up. Who else? What's the next guy? Who else did he fight at welterweight? Mean Machine. I gotta look at all his performances. Mean Machine's a big guy. He's a pretty big welterweight. Strong guy. You could tell Mean Machine's strong. Physically strong. He didn't mark Mean Machine like that. He did stop him. But he didn't mark him up like that. Everybody he stopped at welterweight, he did not mark up like that. And you got to see the consistency between the Deontay Wilder situation and the Errol Spence situation. Both of them were marked up really, really bad. Not only they get stopped bad, they got stopped, but they got marked up in the face very bad. Deontay's ear was he was bleeding throughout his outside of his ear, or his ear was bleeding. That's some weird shit to me. But the consistency with these two situations is that they were marked up really, really bad. There's one thing to knock somebody out or stop them, but it's another thing to be physically damaging their face. Really bad. Like you just took like a hammer and I don't know, some weird tool, you know what I'm saying? Well, people say, oh, well, Earl does the same thing. Earl does the same. Earl been doing that kind of stuff. And it's not the same. Like Earl, like when he beats you up and he lumps your face up, it looks natural. And he's been doing it consistently throughout fights. Terence Crawford has not consistently been marking up people faces up during a fight. This is the first time he's done that. So where did all this power and all this thing come from, bro? Like, he's never done that. And so that's very eye-catching to me, that all of a sudden now, not only is he stopping somebody or hurting somebody in the second round with a jab, mind you, a jab, he's also disfiguring their face when he's never done that in his whole career. He's never, until now. And mind you, that the biggest welterweight, and probably the most durable welterweight too. On top of that, when has that ever, like, come on, there's got to be something has to give. Now, so I talked about Jose Benavidez, right? So Jose Benavidez stops. He took him 12 rounds. Who else? I talked about Jeff Horn. Took him 8 or 9 rounds. I'm out in front of the box, right? Mean Machine, same thing. He stops him. I don't know. I don't think it went past 10. All right, we get it. We see that. Okay. Now people talking about, oh, Terence Crawford has so much power. He has so much power. That is true. I'm not saying Terence Crawford doesn't have power, but not to the point where he's not to the point where he's damaging people's face like that. Now let's move on to the Kell Brook fight. Now this fight is very key to me. Very key. We got 2 fights that's gonna be very, very key before we get to the Spence fight, before, you know, we get to the eventual fight. But Kell Brook fight, 2020. I'm gonna take you back to my mindset back then. And I made a video, a post fight, so you can see how my mindset was. I'm gonna touch on it again. I'm gonna touch on it right now with my thought process now. The Kell Brook fight, very interesting, because going into that fight, I thought that was gonna be I thought that was gonna challenge Terence Crawford. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was gonna be a challenging fight for Terence Crawford. Back then, I said, whoa, okay, this is gonna be a good fight. You know, people were like, well, Kell Brook is gonna lose. Kell Brook's gonna lose. And very much so, I think Terence Crawford should have been the favorite, but I didn't think it was gonna be that easy. Again, he comes into that fight and he made it look easy. He caught Kell Brook with like a jab, or like some kind of jab hook, short, and he just flew across the ring like it was some sort of cartoon. And for the life of me back then, I was like, wow, like Terence Crawford's power is really that serious. And looking back at it, hindsight 2020, or looking back at it and today, I'm just like, something ain't right about that. Something is not right about that. It should have never been that easy, even for Kell Brook, for him to stop Kell Brook like that. I don't know if he had anything in his glove. I don't know what was going on, but for him to stop Kell Brook, whether y'all want to say he was a broken fighter or not, Kell Brook went up 2 weight classes to fight Triple G at 160. Triple G, Gennady Golovkin didn't even do that to Kell Brook. It took Triple G, I think, 7 rounds, 5 or 7 rounds to stop him, and he stopped him. He didn't knock him out. They stopped the fight. So that means he didn't go on his knee. It wasn't any no mas. Okay? It took him 5 to 7 rounds to stop him. I believe Terence Crawford finished him, what, in 4 or 5 rounds, if I'm not mistaken. And before he stopped him, Kell Brook was winning the fight. You get what I'm saying? And so, looking back at it, that fight is very suspect to me because I know Kell Brook is much more durable than that. It took Errol Spence 10 rounds to stop Kell Brook, okay? And this is when Errol Spence was at his best, 2017. It took him 10 rounds to stop him, okay? This is when Errol Spence was before the car accident and everything, was training at his best with Blu-ray, okay? It took him 10 rounds to stop him. So you telling me two guys who are bigger than Terence Crawford took more rounds to stop him, and somebody coming up from 135, 140 can come and stop him in 4 rounds? Come on, man. It just don't make sense to me. And I know Kell Brook is better than that. I don't care if Kell Brook has been through 2 broken eye sockets. I know Kell Brook is better than that. Whatever he felt in that glove, he probably felt something, man. There's no way possible he go flying out that ring like that. It's theater at this point. It just don't make any sense to me. So that's one. That's that Kell Brook situation. So that's probably one of the most alarming, I guess, situation coming towards this Errol Spence fight. You know what I'm saying? Because after that, he had 2 more fights between Porter and Avenesian and then Errol Spence. But I think that was a precursor to what he has become. Now, there are some other fights, even at junior welterweight. I heard, I think Felix Diaz, what's his name? I think it's his name. Where his glove, because we're gonna talk about the glove, where his glove looks like his hand is not inside the glove. It's that whole Tyson Fury situation. So he's been doing that. Looks like he's been doing that even at junior welterweight. I don't know if he used that tactic for every situation or fight, but we're gonna get back to that. Now he fights Porter, and he's doing the it takes him, the Porter situation is a little weird too, because his father stopped the fight, so it's that too. But even in that fight, the glove, we start to see the glove. He used that glove tactic. We start to see him use that glove tactic, where his hand's not in the glove, and it looks like they're maybe manipulating the gloves. I don't have the picture. I know the Boxing Outlet has it, where he shows tampered gloves or manipulated gloves. I don't want to play with semantics, so he may say tampered and manipulated are 2 different things, but I'll just say manipulated. I'll say that, because tampered might sound like you have something in the gloves, and that may be a situation too. That may be, we don't know. That may be a situation too, but I'll say manipulated for now. Or really particularly for this situation when we talk about the Sean Porter fight, but like it looked like it was manipulated, definitely. Because the way he's blocking, and the whole glove is basically blocking his whole side of his face, and the glove doesn't have a curve. It's just straight up, like it's a baseball mitt. That's what I'm talking about. Like, your glove shouldn't be doing that. That's the same. It should not be. Yeah, same thing with Tyson Fury. So that's exactly what was going on. And then we have the the fight. But he didn't stop Sean Porter. Well, he did, but he didn't. If you get what I'm saying, like, that's a situation in itself. But and then we have the David Avenesian fight, where he knocks David Avenesian out cold. What can you say? Not saying that he couldn't have knocked him out, because anybody can get knocked out cold. You know what I'm saying? Because everyone has different bodies, different chins, however you want to say it. But the key to that fight is that his glove busted in that fight. His whole glove busted, okay? I don't understand how your gloves are busting and it's supposed to be brand new. It's supposed to be brand new, and it just doesn't make sense. I don't know how you have gloves like that if they're brand new. There's also a part in that fight where it looks like he's putting his gloves behind him, like it's on a break, and he looks like he's kind of hiding his gloves. Looks very suspect, and he's using the same tactic with the whole the mitt situation. So it looks like his gloves are, looks like his hands is not fully in his glove all the way. There's no curve to the glove, and it's like he's using the same tactic. So I don't know what is in that glove. I don't know if there's anything in that gloves. I don't know, but it looks like you're able to generate, or when you hit somebody, it looks like you're hitting them harder because it looks like they're tampering with the padding. With the Sean Porter fight, what else fight? There's 3 fights where it looks like they're massaging his gloves. You're not supposed to be doing that in the corner. What is the idea behind that? Unless you may be manipulating the gloves, and why would you be manipulating the gloves for? That's a question for people to not only ask, but there should be an answer to that too. And so he knocks him out cold. We have never seen Terence Crawford. We've seen him stop people, but we've never seen him knock people out cold. So it looks like as he has gone up weight, it looks like he's been punching harder, and everything. Or if it's not that, something's going on. Also, not to say that you can't get bigger between fights or you can't get any more fitter between fights, but something also to look into is the picture between the David Avenesian fight and his weigh-in, and the picture between his weigh-in for Earl Spence fight. There is a difference, okay? There's a difference. There's a consistency between the way he has looked throughout all his fights and then the one he looked for Earl Spence fight. There's a significant difference. So whether you want to say he was more focused for Earl Spence fight and that's why he looks better, yeah, you're free to say that. You're free to say that, but that's just an aspect I'm bringing up. Because I do see a difference, but I don't think it's so much of a difference where I'll say it's like a major factor into why I think he cheated. That's like probably the bottom of the list. Because you could take steroids and not look too much different. Like steroids are not gonna make you look, depending on how you use it, it's not gonna make you look all that different. If you're just going there, you may take a steroid, but you're just using it for stamina. It's not gonna make you really look different. You get what I'm saying? But I'll just say this: given all the evidence or what I've been saying, I absolutely 100% think he cheated. I don't think that was an authentic fight. I don't think he's been authentic for a couple fights. I don't think he was authentic for the Kell Brook fight. I don't think he was I definitely don't think he was authentic for the David Avenesian fight. That's 100%. Why is your glove busting and you're knocking somebody out cold like that when you've never done that before? Yes, you have stopped people, but you've never knocked somebody out cold like that. I don't think so. I don't think he's authentic within that fight. His gloves, he definitely was manipulating his glove during the Sean Porter fight. I don't know what he had in them gloves for the Kelberg fight, but I suspect, I don't know what Kelberg got hit with. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't know what he got hit with, because that never made sense to me. That never made sense to me. So that fight never sat right with me. But there's 3 significant fights where you can see them massaging or manipulating or massaging his gloves, on top of his gloves, in the corner. That was a Sean Porter fight. That was a David Avanesian fight, and there's one other fight. There's one other fight. I know the boxing outlet has covered that, so you can see it on his channel. You're not supposed to be doing that. And so I do, and this is my assumption to bring everything all in. I think that's why he delayed the fight back in November, because it was supposed to happen in 2022 November. I think that's why he delayed the fight. I think he wanted to test what he was trying to do in the David Avanesian fight, whatever he was trying to do. Or not even just test. That's probably the wrong word. I think he delayed because he was trying to get on whatever he's trying to get on. And he just used the David Avanesian fight as an excuse to kind of get away from the negotiations of the Errol Spence fight. I think that's what happened. I think that's exactly what happened. And I think that's how he was able to come into this fight so fresh and so strong. Never seen him this good, look good. He's never looked this good ever in his career at 36. And him at 36, he's looked the best he's ever looked in his whole career. And I think him aligning himself with Victor Conte actually puts him in a particular situation where me and others are questioning him. Okay? And so I definitely think he cheated. I definitely think Terence Crawford cheated. And I think if they do have a rematch, hold on, before I get to that, and to add on to me thinking he cheated, look at him now. You go back 2-3 years ago, they asked him in an interview, would he ever go up and fight Canelo Alvarez? He said, no, never. You come, and there's interviews out there, it's on the internet, of him saying that. Go on, now today, he's saying he's willing to go up to 168 to fight Canelo. Now, where did he get all this confidence from to say that he's willing to go all the way up 3-4 weight classes to fight somebody and be confident? Now, where did he find that confidence from? Mind you, even a couple weeks before the fight, I think the week of the fight ending, he said he still wouldn't fight Canelo at 168. And then a couple weeks after that, the fight, again, he was asked that same question. He changed his mind and said he will go up to 168 and fight him. So where is he getting this confidence from if he's not being aided by something? Because in reality, for him to go up all them weight classes to beat somebody like Canelo, that would be huge. That would be like a crazy feat to do. You get what I'm saying? And looking after that fight, immediately after that fight, the Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford, I said to myself, I think he could go and beat Canelo after that fight. Because look how strong he looked. He looked so strong that fight. He looked like he was fighting against, like he was whooping a toddler. You know what I'm saying? He looked so strong, so fast, reflex. I think one of the most impressive things I was so impressed by in that fight, by his performance, I think maybe his reflexes. His reflexes just look so like crazy to me. You get what I'm saying? Like, and he took all Errol Spence's. Errol hit him flush with a couple crazy shots, and he just took them like they were nothing, completely nothing. That's how you know he was on something, man. There's no way. Like, I'm not saying that Earl should have stopped him or he should have put him down with those shots. Let's say he did take those shots, whatever. But to like take them and act as if they were nothing, like Errol hit him with an overhand, I think left or something, and he just came back with like a straight right or something like that, and knocked him down. I'm like, you took this biggest shot, and then you took it on the chin, and then came back with a straight right and knocked him down. Like, no way did you do that shit. Like, I don't believe that shit, bro. That shit, no, I don't believe that shit. I just don't. Like, if anything, like I said, even if he did take that shot, right? I would have expected him for Terence Crawford to back up or reset or something. He didn't even reset. He went back. He took that shot and went right back to him. I'm like, what? That's how you know something was up. Because you got to understand, even Victor Conte said it. Taking PEDs makes you faster, stronger, and make your punch resistance a lot better. And it also aids your reflexes. So come on, man. Like, we may never see the truth come out or to the capacity it should, but real boxing fans, people that have been watching the game for a long time, we know better, or at least we should know better. Or what probably happens is everybody's on the hush because they don't want to take credit away or whatever. There's no integrity in this game. It's a cowardly game. There's a lot of coward shit that goes on in the game. And so so now he wants to go up and move up to fight Canelo at 168. Come on. You gotta be on something, man. You gotta be on something, man. There's no way. There's no way. And you know what's so funny though? What's so crazy? He was on all those juices or whatever, performance enhancement. Got Tampa gloves. Somebody spiked Errol Spence's water. Okay, I don't care what nobody fucking say. They did the same thing to Deontay. He did all that kind of shit, right? And he still could have knocked Errol Spence out. Errol was still trying to fight until until they say he couldn't fight. He did all that shit to win and still couldn't knock him out. Still couldn't stop him. That's crazy. I think that's crazy. Imagine if Earl did that to Terence Crawford. Huh? Just imagine, right? Come on, man. Come on. But I'm gonna be honest. I think Errol Spence has an idea what happened. I think Errol Spence knows that he was drugged. I think he do, but he's not gonna say anything that's gonna fuck his money up. They had too much money was on the line for this fight. So I think he's gonna keep himself keep the situation hush. I think he kind of knows that he was drugged and shit like that, and he just had to go and do what he had to do. That's it. Well, he knows. He definitely knows. Who doesn't know if they're being drugged or were drugged? Come on, man. No balance, no nothing. Come on. But I think if they do have a rematch, Errol Spence has to make sure, his team has to make sure that the gloves are being checked. Everything has to be on 100%. They got to check what Errol Spence is eating. his water. They gotta check. They gotta make sure everything's precise. And shit, I don't want to see Victor Conte or hear Victor Conte. I don't want Victor Conte as an accessory for this rematch. Okay, I don't want that shit, bro. I want to know who's the fucking best, but we're not gonna be able to see it because fucking Victor Conte is a fucking accessory to this fucking fight. You get what I'm saying? And he's a coward for that shit, for using him, man. It's you can't go around talking about you want to fight this person now or flaunting a belt that you're not even, you didn't earn correctly. Come on, man. It's phony as fuck. It's not only phony as fuck to the fucking public, but it's phony as hell to yourself. You know that shit is not yours. You know that you didn't get that shit correctly. Come on, man. You know you're not the best. Come on, man. You're lying to yourself and you're trying to make yourself believe that you authentically got that shit, bro. Come on. And I was a big Terence Crawford fan, like, supporter. But after seeing that shit, man, come on, man. But, that's all my thoughts on this. I actually do hope Errol Spence avenges his loss. Because he deserves that shit. He might not ever be the same because he's been damaged not only from his car wreck and everything, and now this. He might not win the rematch too, but I hope he avenges himself. But those are my thoughts for now. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll talk to y'all later, man. All right.